So what you see here is as close as I can come really to getting a schema, getting a database or information model of the World of Warcraft type of information. This isn't World of Warcraft, but it's close enough that we can sort of see in real life, in reality, how these kinds of things are put together. And some of the things that you'll see are there's a character, and the character is really central. So if you squint your eyes, you can almost see a network here, right? And which things are central because they're connected, which things are the hubs, which things are the central kinds of information because they're connected out all over. And you'll see here that character is one of those things. Characters have accounts. Characters, regions contain characters, so a character is in a region. Now remember the context here. We're talking about a game where you're a character and you're roaming through space, right? You're doing things, you have abilities, you're killing bad guys, etc., etc. You're a character, you're in a region, and you have an account. Then all the rest of this other stuff is also parts that you have. So this is sort of a realistic schema or a realistic information model of what you might find inside of a video game. Let's now take a look at a kind of a simplification of the World of Warcraft model. I got this model by working through World of Warcraft. They certainly wouldn't give it to me if I called them up and said, what's your information model? But it's easy enough to figure out the information model just by playing around with the system and seeing what kinds of information are associated with which parts of the system. So in our model, as opposed to the model that I showed you, the generic sort of game model, in our model, the central player is still a character, but the character actually is less important than the class. Notice the class here. The class of character is the kind of character, what type of character it is. So a class of characters has many abilities, specializations, proficiencies. These are all the things the character can do. A character can play one or more role. A character belongs to to one and only one race, and that race can belong to a faction. Now it doesn't really matter if you don't understand these words in terms of World of Warcraft, and in fact it's almost better if you don't, because then you can see this for what it is. It's a model of the world of the game. And by looking at this model, you can tell a lot about the game that you might never figure out just by playing the game. For example, that the class really is the main thing that's going on. The kind of character is more important than the actual character. A user has a character, has one or more characters, and that character belongs to the class. But where the real action is in the class. Okay, so this is a top-level information model. What I want to do is I want to dive into it and use bits of this information model and talk specifically about how they create different parts of the user interface of a game like World of Warcraft.